Hi, this is Garibay, and today we're going to be talking about why Hollywood is no-show for the U.S. presidential 2020 election. All right, so basically, up until till the election time, there have been a ton of Hollywood actors really adamantly expressing their political opinions, right? And being very loud about their expressions of those opinions, and being very prominent, right? And there was so much of this that it was really looking like a lot to me, like Hollywood absolutely was ready to kind of put up or shut up, right? Like and that they would generate multiple candidates, right? But here we are in 2020, and Hollywood has produced goose egg candidates, while the political realm has produced 20 candidates, right? Also, the business world has produced candidates, the political world has produced candidates, but Hollywood has produced goose egg candidates. Absolutely no candidates, all right? Now, first of all, I want to talk about what is the reason why. I think there's 3 reasons that Hollywood is no-show. But first I want to talk about who didn't show. Who were the people who talked about politics a ton and made their opinions very, very evident, talked a big game coming up to the point of candidacy, where candidacy would need to be declared, or they're in a few cases, their followers, their fans, kind of nominated them and said, hey, we would really like you to run for president. And then those celebrities actually either did not shut that down or fanned the flames a little, just to see what would happen, okay? So there's 10 celebrities I'm going to name right now that actually that talked a lot about politics, or their fans pushed them forward, and they did not clearly shut that down. All right. Okay. So there's 10 of them. So let's jump right into it. So I use mnemonics to remember these lists, and so I have mnemonics for this. So I have a mnemonic for each. I have 2 mnemonics, each containing 5 candidates. So the first is The Rock wearing Yeezys, sharing a piece of pie with Oprah wearing a cap. All right. So the first is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He actually talked about it publicly right on Saturday Night Live, and The Rock really doesn't jump into politics a lot and talk about his opinions about politics, but he has such incredible goodwill, and he has such strong presence, right, among the American people, that there were definitely a lot of people calling for Rock to run, right? And he never really shut it down, right? But for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, it really wasn't him like saying, here's all my opinions about politics. It was just his fan base really saying, hey man, we really think you should run, right? Like, then he's wearing, now The Rock is wearing Yeezys, right? Kanye West, woo boy, that guy, he's got a lot of opinions about politics, right? And he was not shy about sharing them. And he said some really, I thought he said some really intelligent stuff, and he said some stuff that was out there. Like I was like, what? You can't say that, dude, right? I was pretty amazed, right? But Kanye talked a lot about running for president. In fact, I think, so he was right up in the mix, right? Cher actually talked about running for president. I couldn't believe this. Like Sonny Bono's wife, Cher, right? So, actually, I'm a huge fan of Cher. I wish she did more content nowadays. I understand that's probably difficult at this point, but I'm a big fan of Cher, and I thought it was really interesting she's in the mix. But she is in the mix. She talks a lot about politics, and there was talk of her running, and she actually kind of gave some motions that she might run at some point, okay? Oprah's the exact same. Oprah absolutely expresses her opinion on politics all the time, like straight on the regular, right? I could not believe she has just finally started shutting down fans on this. I could not believe what she said to Trevor Noah. She was on Trevor Noah's show, and she said, "You don't want me to run for president, and the reason why you don't want me to run for president is my life is too beautiful." And I was like, wait, you need to, you need to think about what you say a little bit more there, Oprah, because, you're saying, I'm too comfortable to run for president? It was kind of a shocking statement. I was really surprised that, this was how she was going to get out of running, right? It was kind of odd. But Oprah was absolutely in the mix, right? Now, the last one is Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio, really, really big on climate change, right? And he really talked a big game and really wanted to, was really stating this should be done, that should be done, right? It seemed like he genuinely cared about the Earth enough to actually put his career on hold and run for president. Nope, big old no-show, right? So no-show there. All right, here's my second mnemonic, right? Hellboy roaring, striking Genie in the heart with a rock. All right, Hellboy. Ron Perlman talks a ton about politics. I read Ron Perlman's biography. He's a really smart guy. I'm a huge fan of his work. I loved his work in Conan the Barbarian, the second one, the one with Jason Momoa. Actually, maybe that's the third or fourth one. I absolutely loved his work on Hellboy with the guy who did Pan's Labyrinth. Oh man, I can't remember. I'm sorry, I'm not remembering his name. I'm a really, really big fan of Ron Perlman. I also was a huge fan of his work on Sons of Anarchy. Great show if you haven't seen it. Really good. I really liked it. But he's fantastic. Also, Guillermo del Toro, right? That's the guy he did Hellboy with. And also he reads a ton of. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. He reads a ton of audiobooks. He has an amazing voice. Ron Perlman, I'm a huge super fan. You can tell. He talks a lot about politics, and he really had, and he was a no-show. Did not show, just like everybody else on this list, right? So roaring, Katy Perry, man, not shy about sharing her opinions. No show, right? Katy Perry just never showed up, but she never stopped from saying, "I want this in politics. I want that in politics." And there were people behind her, people ready to support her, right? So, and not small numbers, large numbers, right? And so Katy Perry was there. Genie, Will Smith, huge fan of Will Smith too. I love his early rap. I love all his music, Big Willie style. I'm a huge fan, from start to finish. And I really dig his movies. I'm a huge fan of Will Smith. I really like Wild Wild West. It's one of my favorite movies. Not a lot of people say that, but I do. Right? I love that film. So the thing is, same thing, no show, right? So Hellboy roaring, striking Genie in the chest, in the heart with a rock. Kevin Hart, the comedian, talked about running for president. He's a super intelligent guy, very, very funny. He's a little. I love his. You know what? I can't actually watch his stand-up. I feel like it's a little bit. Actually, he joked a lot about his divorce, and I think divorces are super sad, and I couldn't laugh at that. But I really, really dig his work in movies. One of my favorite movies is Central Intelligence with The Rock and Kevin Hart. Maybe they were talking politics on the scene. I love that movie so much. Those two guys and Kevin Hart's movie work, I'm a huge fan. He's really, really good. Big old no-show. A lot of talk, no-show, right? And then last is Chris Rock, right? Chris Rock, another brilliant comedian, right? And very staunch, animate opinions on what should and should not be done in politics. No show. All right, so here we got 10 people who are all no show. Now, what's in common with every single one of them but one? They could only run for the Democrats. There's no way any of those people could sail with the Republicans except The Rock. The Rock has such goodwill and such presence that I think either party would be absolutely thrilled to have him, right? And but the reality is absolutely all these people talked, but nobody showed up, right? So now why is the reason they were no-show, okay? I think all 10 fit one or more of these reasons for why they decided not to run. First reason, Trump, right? I think anyone should be very concerned to run against Trump. so many people call Trump, non-intelligent. So many people like denigrate him as a person, right? He is an absolute predator when it comes to politics, man. That dude has got fangs and claws, right? And his attack is bite, it's claw, bite, man. That dude is nasty when it comes to politics as far as a competitor. He comes to play, right? And I think that's scared the living heck out of everybody in Hollywood. They love to talk a big game, right? But when you got to put up or shut up and go against an actual predator, and like this dude's got claws and fangs, and all you're bringing is soft paws, and you've been declawed a long time ago, I don't think so, right? So I think Donald Trump, just because we don't see Hollywood running now, that doesn't mean we're not going to see him run in 2024 when it's an open field. But I really feel like, Donald Trump scared a lot of people off. And frankly, I don't think Hollywood is that wrong to be afraid of him, right? He is, like, you can say whatever you want as far as, how he governs, and he has a whole bunch of foibles, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to pure competition and beating him, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot, right? And also, Hillary Clinton, man, she was dyed-in-the-wool politician, around for 30 years, lived, breathed, and slept politics, and he ate her for breakfast, right? He is a major, major competitor. It is not a small thing. Reason number 2, here you go. This is a big one, right? Being the man ain't cool, right? So I'm using a gender term here. My apologies. I just want to kind of get my point across. Everybody knows what I say when I say, the man, right? The man is somebody who has authority and uses that authority and tells other people, you cannot do this, right? And guess what? The president, up to this point, has been the man, right? Not like literally the man, like a man. I mean the man, an authority figure that tells other people, I'm shutting you down, right? I would like to use another term. There simply isn't another term for this right now. It gets my point across. I apologize if I didn't find a better gender term for this. But we're talking about being cool, right? And really being an authority figure, being the man, right? And get this, like Elizabeth Warren, when she, if she wins, she'll be the man, right? Air quotes, the man, right? And the reason why, so it's just a term. It's like kind of almost like a term of art. Again, apology, I didn't find a better term, right? Being the man is not cool, right? And guess what? There is very little in the world that Hollywood cares about more than being cool, right? So, and that's the issue, is you really cannot hold authority and be cool, right? It just doesn't work, right? Like half the world, or at least a third of the world, is going to hate you just because you hold power, right? That's just a fact. That's the way it flows, right? And people would like it to, and the reality is when you hold authority and when you're telling people no, it is very, very hard to be cool, right? And Hollywood is all about cool, man. Like Hollywood invented, not looking at it, walking away from explosion and not looking at it. That's cool, right? And Hollywood, when it comes to cool, they know how to do cool in every possible way. They know how to dress cool. They know how to do their hair in cool styles. They know how to do their eyebrows cool. They know what color they want their eyes to be cool, and they can, change them with a million different things. And they're literally willing to cut their bodies apart to be cool. Like if there's anything, if it's their nose, their eyes, their lips, whatever, there is nothing that will not be sacrificed to be cool. So if you got this entire group of people who live, breathe, eat, and sleep cool, man, and really want to be cool all the time, right? It's a little scary to be the man, right? To hold authority, have to tell people no, set rules, do regulations, sign a bunch of documents, and a whole bunch of things. A lot of stuff in politics ain't cool, man. It just ain't, right? And I think that scared a lot of Hollywood, right? A perfect example would be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's got so much goodwill. That goodwill gets stripped away in a week if he's president. You know what I mean? A lot of it, not all of it. Here's the third one. I think some, not all, of a few of these Hollywood people knew they need to know their limits, right? Hollywood limits, not individual person limits, but Hollywood has limits. And I think a lot of them, because they live in Hollywood, they're like, look nice, smile, say platitudes. That's what we do. We don't really get anything done. It's all image here. It's all pictures. And the reality is, like, we're about saying the thing, we're about showing the thing, but we ain't about doing the thing. And I think a lot of them know their limits. That is why I think that Hollywood did not show up for 2024. If they had shown up, who would have been the best candidates? I'll tell you right now. Oprah would have been incredibly difficult to beat. I think she could have beat Trump. The Rock, same thing. So Oprah's number 1. The Rock is right behind her at number 2, and then number 3 is Perlman. I think each and every one of them could have beat Trump. They would, it would have been like 50-60% for all of them having a chance of beating Trump. It would have been hard. They would have needed to go through the gauntlet, right? Who are the celebrities who did not project that they were going to run, but that I wish they did, right? Dave Chappelle, absolute genius. I think he'd be a great president. Ryan Gosling, really solid, has a lot of goodwill. I think he'd be a good president. Toni Collette, I'm a huge fan of Toni Collette. If you haven't seen Hereditary yet, that is an amazing horror film. She's really smart. I think she has solid presence. I think she'd be a great politician. I really do. And then Tessa Thompson. She is just really charismatic. I think we as a nation could use her. Like, we really have a problem on harmony between people of different colors. And I think she could help with that, because she's loved by, I think, pretty much of every color. And she's just really smart, really charismatic. Those are the people I wish were running. But those 3 reasons, Trump, it ain't cool to be the man, and knowing their limits, is the 3 reasons that I think Hollywood is a complete no-show for the 2020. Now, I will tell you right now, when Trump is out of the way, I think you definitely could see some people jumping in, right? Oh, another one that I didn't list is John Krasinski. I would like to see him run as well. But that's my thought on why Hollywood was a no-show. Was there anybody I missed on the list that you think should be on the list? People who were kind of making motions that they were going to run and then never ran. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think I'm wrong on my reasons, my 3 reasons let me know that below, right? And I really appreciate, as always, you listening. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.